Yo, is this streaming? Is this live, yeah? Yeah, I think this is live, you know. How we doing? You alright? Everyone all good? What's happening? Thought I'd do a little shit live. Have a little catch up, you know, see what's going on, see what's been happening in boxing. You know what I mean? Have a little catch up. What's happening? Everyone all good, yeah? Are you looking forward to the boxing on the weekend? Who's fighting? That guy who need the black quitter in his head. Marku, you know, he's fighting, isn't he? He was sparring with the black quitter. You know, and the fucking Marku guy, he does a bit of kickboxing. So he need the black quitter in his head, you know, in the middle of sparring. And then the black quitter, he got out of the ring, you know, and got his phone out and started doing a Instagram live, you know, because he knows the black quitter, he knows that because there's lots of people watching, that Marku, he won't fuck him up anymore. You know, because he's got witnesses, you know, on Instagram live. So, you know, the black quitter, he pussied out again, didn't he? I made him run off to Spain, you know, quickly, conveniently. So, yeah. What's happening? Everyone all right, yeah? Did you enjoy Josh Warrington getting fucked up? I gotta admit, I enjoyed it, you know. I love it when the home fighter, the Eddie Earn, Matchroom, Sky Sports fighter gets fucked up. You know, by the underdog, the guy who's written off. I fucking love it, man. I really enjoyed it, you know what I mean? What do you think? What do you think of that fight? Some people are saying that the fight was stopped a bit too late. You know, they said that Warrington, he should have been stopped a bit earlier, but I disagree. I don't like it when fights get stopped. I like to see knockouts, you know, complete knockouts, you know, straight knockouts. You know, where they face down. I don't want to sound horrible, but it's true. I just like to see them when they're fucking face down. And that's kind of what you get in the UFC, you know, because they've got those small gloves. And, you know, Dana White, he gives knockout bonuses. So when someone gets a knockout victory, they get a bonus because that's what people want to see, don't they? So I don't think the fight was stopped too late, you know, for Warrington. You know what I mean? I think it was stopped when it should have been. And you know, Josh Warrington's dad. Some people are saying that he should have jumped in, but you know, Beyonce Wilder, he was complaining, you know, and having to go at his trainer, Mark Breland, you know, when he fucking stopped his fight with Tyson Fury. Beyonce Wilder was having to go at Mark Breland money, you know, really dissing him. You know, saying, oh, he stopped the fight because he's jealous of my success, so he didn't want me to do well. So he stopped it, you know what I mean? You know, Beyonce Wilder acting all fucking daft like that. He had fucking blood coming out of his ear. You know, he got saved by Mark Breland. So, some fighters, they don't react well to being stopped, you know, by their corner. You remember when Kell Brook got stopped by Golovkin and Dominic Ingle was waving the towel like that? He was fucking waving it for ages, wasn't he, Dominic Ingle? You know what I mean? Dominic Ingle, he's a good guy. Yeah, shout out to Martin McKenzie. Thanks for the 20 quid, yeah? The black quitter is a boss steward of a man. Respect Iron. See you soon at gym for a spear. Be ready. Have we sparred before, have we? Yeah? Thanks for that. Or for a spar. So I'm seeing double, you know. I did a YouTube live the other day, about 3 days ago, and I did the live after about 2 bottles of Echo 4, so I didn't plug the mic in. So there was no sound, you know, because I was a bit fucked up. I was a bit deranged, so I didn't plug the mic in properly. I wasn't functioning properly, so I fucked up. So we're gonna do it properly this time. I've only had about half a bottle today, so I'm all good. Hopefully this is playing okay, yeah. Shout out to G-Man Boxing. Get some Echo 4s on me. Better than 79p. Yeah, man. I appreciate that. So what do you think? Do you think Josh Warrington will fight that guy again? Or do you think he'll avoid him, you know, like how Amir Khan avoided Brady's Prescott? You notice how he didn't fight Brady's Prescott again, the Skype wanker. You know, after he got fucked up. He conveniently swerved him, didn't he? He conveniently swerved him. And like, you know, when Nassim Ahmed got beat by Barrera, you know, after the fight, a Sky Sports interviewer said to Nassim Ahmed, you know, you can fight Eric Morales, that's a route back for you. And Nas said, no, I want Barrera. I want Barrera. But he didn't want it, did he? He didn't want it, did he, really? He didn't take the fight, did he? So yeah, Josh Warrington, I don't know, he might fucking avoid this Lara guy, you know, like how he avoided Kid Galahad. Do you think Kid Galahad is responsible, you know, for Warrington losing? Do you think he got into his head, you know, and like fucked him up like that? You know, because Warrington couldn't really land a punch and he was getting frustrated. Like, you know, Brendan Ingle, yeah? I've trained with Brendan for years and years. And I remember when he told me one time this little story about Nassim Ahmed. And he said, you know, Nassim Ahmed, when he was about 15 years old, this guy, this grown man, came into the gym, this British champion. The guy was about 23 years old, this man, this British champion. He came to the Ingle gym and he sparred with Nassim Ahmed, who was about 15 years old. You know, he was an amateur at the time. And Nassim Ahmed fucked this guy up. You know, really smacked him up. And you know, this guy, he didn't box again after that. You know, Naz, he fucked him up mentally. You know, by smacking him up, even though he was only like 15 years old, Naz. So do you think Kid Galahad had a similar effect on Warrington? Because Warrington, you know, he's... I don't know. He didn't do that well, did he? He got smacked up. But he kind of like thrives off his fans, you know, being in the arena because it's lockdown. There was no one there to like cheer him on. So I don't know. I don't know if that had an effect on him. Shout out to Mikey Simpson for the £5. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, Martin McKenzie. Thanks for the tenner. Josh Taylor is the daddy of Scotland. I'll spar LSD at your gym time. He's the 1 foot wonder and will pay. Trust me, you'll be my ref. Who's LSD? I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is, you know. LSD. But yeah, Nassim Ahmed fucked up this guy, you know, who was like a grown man. A grown man. You know, Johnny Nelson. You know, Tony Bellew is technically better than Usyk Nelson. He got interviewed the other day, didn't he, by Umar, IFL Umar, you know, on Zoom. And Johnny Nelson, he told like a really interesting story, you know, about Naz. Johnny Nelson said that he was like good mates with Naz, you know, when Naz was young. But then, you know, when Naz started to like step up and he started to get boxing success and he started to make that fucking money, you know, he secured the bag. He started to act really cocky. And when he had a fight abroad, all his gym mates, you know, like Johnny Nelson and Ryan Rhodes and all them guys, they all went to America with Naz, you know, to support him as his mate. And Naz wrote a little letter to them all, you know, saying, because I'm dieting and I can't eat food, you can't eat food either. I'm starving myself to get down to 9 stone. So I can't really eat food. So because I'm starving and I'm not eating food, you can't eat food as well. What do you think of that? That's a bit fucking... And Naz said that, you know, when his dad walks into the room, everyone's got to shake his dad's hand, you know, and kiss his hand, you know, and like bow their head to him. That's a bit arrogant, isn't it? That's a bit fucking arrogant, man. Stay humble. You know, Billy Joe Saunders, he posted a video the other day on his Instagram, you know, and it was Naz's birthday, saying, yeah, you know, Naz is one of the most exciting boxers ever. So Naz is up there, isn't he? Like, in his prime, he's up there. He's really entertaining. You know, Billy Joe Saunders is quite good as well, isn't he? But, like, entertainment-wise, it's all about levels, isn't it? Naz was up there, wasn't he? You know, Billy Joe Saunders, he's made a few £1 million. You know, he's a 2-weight world champ, unbeaten. But he's still humble, isn't he? He's still a humble guy, man. You know, when Coogan reported my old channel, and it got shut down, Billy Joe Saunders like rang me up and he offered me a bit of cash. He said, what are you gonna do now? And I said, I don't know, you know, I'm gonna see what to do. I'm gonna see what I'm gonna do. And he said, all right, well, let me know if you need any cash. And I said, I'm all right, you know, but thanks for the offer, yeah. So I kindly declined his offer of some cash. But you know, looking back, I should have asked him for 50 grand. Do you know what I mean? I should have asked him for 50 grand, because that's not really anything to him, is it? He's got a big fight with Canelo coming up. He's got a big fight on him. Who do you think wins that? I think Billy Joe Saunders, as much as I'd like him to win, I think he gets robbed on points. You know, by those fucking... If they put like $300 million into Canelo, they're not just going to let him lose on points, are they? They're not, are they? So as much as I want Billy Joe to win, I think he gets robbed on points. You know, like Kiko Martinez against that fucking Zelfa Barrio. Do you know what I mean? Boxing's just a joke, innit? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know me, yeah, I used to box. I was a little shit boxer. But I was alright, I was decent. I was quite decent, to be honest with you. But you know, if you look at my record on BoxRec, I look absolutely fucking garbage. I look terrible. You know, my record, but I was just a little guy, you know, who used to like take fights at 3 days notice, you know, against people like Liam Williams and Chris Eubank Jr. I was always like the B-side. So I used to get robbed quite a lot. So like, you know that Zelfa Barrett Kiko Martinez fight? You know, if judges can act like that on a show that's televised, it's on TV for people to see. You know, what happens in these little shit leisure centres that I was boxing on? You know, where there's no TV, there's no Sky Sports cameras, you know, to like witness the robberies. You don't know what's going on there. So there's loads of robberies, man, but it's like these judges, they don't have to pay the consequences, do they? You know, their shit decisions. Like, you know me, I got banned from boxing because I wrote a little tweet. You know, the fucking boxing board of control, they banned me from boxing. Banned me. Stopped me from getting money from boxing. Banned me because of a tweet. But you know, these fucking judges and these referees, they can score fights however they want, and like, nothing happens to them, does it? Nothing happens. They don't have to like, they don't get disciplined, do they? You know that Howard Foster, who like got George Groves in a headlock, you know, in his first fight with Froch. Howard Foster got George Groves in a headlock, you know, and said, that's it, no more, no more. He fucking had him in a headlock and waved it off, you know what I mean? You know, taking little paydays from Eddie Earn to stop the fight early. But then he was like refereeing that fight the other day. Was it the Warrington fight? So nothing happens to these referees. They don't get disciplined at all, do they? But they need to get disciplined, man. They need to get beat up. You know, when they fucking give a dodgy decision like that Zelfa Barrett against Martinez, you know, it's no good, is it? They need to get beat up, these judges. They need to get disciplined, you know what I mean? They need to face some serious discipline because they're just doing whatever they want, aren't they? But it goes back to Nassim Hamed, don't it? You know, Nassim Hamed. He said you have to brook them up. You know, you have to fucking take the decision out of the judge's hands, you know, and brook them up. You know, and smash them up. Brook them up. That's what Nas said, didn't he? It's kind of true in a way, but that was Nas's game plan, you know, going into the Barrera fight. If you watch the interviews beforehand, before the fight, you know, Nas, he said, all I have to do is just land one punch. Nassim Hamed, he said that Barrera is not going to be able to go 12 rounds without getting hit at least once. So once I land that punch, it's going to be over, but that wasn't really the case, was it? It didn't really happen, did it? So I don't think that's true. I don't think you need to knock them out to win. If you win, you win. You know what I mean? If you deserve to win on points, then you deserve to win. If you need to knock them out to get the win, then just get rid of the judges because they're not needed, are they? Just fuck them off. Get rid of them. Don't pay them. If you have to knock someone out to get the win, just fucking get rid of the judges. They're not needed, man. Shout out to Dames J for the £5. If Joshua gets up at 5 AM, trains hard and wins fights, aka Skins gets sexual benefits, and he blocks people on Instagram for writing aka Skins. Did he block you, yeah? I don't know who that fucking guy is. I don't know who that guy thinks he is, man. You know, aka Skins, he fucking... You know, on Twitter, I think he calls himself Sir Skins. Do you know what I mean? Sir Skins. You know, I'm not fucking calling you Sir Skins, man. Without Joshua, you're pretty much eating food out of bins. You know, you're fucking nothing without Joshua. He's living off his name, innit? You know, Joshua's little yes men. You know when Joshua put it on me, you know when I went to his gym and he came up to me and he told me to get the fuck out of his gym. You know his little yes men, they were all trying to like get to me, you know, like trying to fucking get all physical, like get out, you know, trying to fucking get, they didn't touch me, but they were like trying to like, you know, get all physical. You know when Joshua was there telling me to get the fuck out of his gym. But you know when Joshua fucked off, you know his little yes men, they started shaking my hand, you know, and like giving me a black man hug. You know, all that, saying, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, you'll calm down soon. You know, like shaking my hand and giving me a black man hug. But you know, when Joshua was there kicking off, acting like a bitch, they were fucking acting like a bitch. But you know, as soon as he fucked off, they started like shaking my hands, you know, and giving me a black man hug. AKA Skins wasn't there. It was that other guy, you know, that fucking black guy, that little fat cunt. You know him, I think it's his cousin. I forgot his name, but when Joshua was kicking off, he started kicking off. But then when Joshua fucked off, that fucking little yes man of Joshua's cousin, he started like shaking my hands, you know, and giving me a fucking black man hug. So these guys are clowns, aren't they? They're just little yes men. They want to just hang around with Joshua, you know, for sexual reasons. You know, like AKA Skins. They're all clowns, aren't they? They're not real, are they? Like Mark Breland. Mark Breland would say to Beyonce Wilder, You're not going to win the fight against Tyson Fury, so I'm stopping the fight. You've got fucking blood coming out of your ears. You're getting fucked up. You've got little kids. So I'm stopping the fight. And he stopped the fight, didn't he, Mark Brilliant? And then Beyonce Wilder's like slagging him off, saying, oh, he stopped it because he's jealous. Because he didn't achieve as much as me and he didn't make as much money as me. So he's a clown, isn't he, Beyonce Wilder? You need real people behind you, man, in your team. You remember Teddy Atlas? He used to slap Mike Tyson, didn't he? Was it Teddy Atlas who used to slap Tyson? I remember somebody slapping somebody, I'm sure it was him. It might have been Emmanuel Stewart, you know, slapping Lennox Lewis. I can't remember. It might have been that other trainer of Mike Tyson. What's that guy called? That other guy? Yeah, I forgot his name, you know. Michelle Hall Phelps in the gob. Simples, that's what she's good at. Yeah, Michelle Hall Phelps, she's got quite a strong jaw, you know, like a transsexual. So she's probably good at blowjobs, isn't she? Yeah, I don't want to get too sexual in these videos, you know, because like, you know that video that I did about Tony Bellu's gay brother getting married to a man? YouTube deleted the video, so I don't want to get too sexual. What happened to you when you shared a hotel with Coogan? Me, Coogan and James Helder, we all slept in the same hotel room. You know, after Dillian White fucked up Dave Allen in Leeds. We all stayed in the same hotel, but there's no, you know, there's no stories to tell. There's nothing, there's no highlights. We just went to sleep. There was no sexual action. How many brain cells does Dave Allen have left? I don't know, like, I watch his Instagram stories and he talks the way he does, but I know a few people who are from that area. I used to be with this woman who was from the same village as Dave Allen, and she used to talk really fucked up as well. She was a bit like, she had fucking brain damage. The way she used to talk, she was a bit, sounded like she was a bit fucked up as well. So I don't know if they're all inbred. I'm not saying Dave Allen's inbred. You know, he's quite close to his grandma, innit? But I'm not saying he fucks her. But yeah, I don't think his slurring's to do with boxing. But he might be. He's been in with the top names, hasn't he? Dillian White, Ortiz. Sparred loads of rounds with Joshua. Tyson Fury. So he might be a bit punchy, he might be a bit punch drunk. But I don't know. He got out at the right time, didn't he, Dave Allen? David Harrison, thanks for the £10 here. You know of any boxers that have taken care of Michelle Hall Phelps sexually? Must be some in that Ingle gym that have done it. You know what, I'm going to be honest with you. I know as much as you. Like, I don't, you know, we've all got our suspicions, haven't we, that she's pally with Billy Joe Saunders. And since he fucked off to Mark Tibbs, you know, down in London or Essex, Hall Phelps hasn't really been around too much. It might be because of lockdown and isolation and all that, but I don't know. I think he fucked off before lockdown and she stopped coming around then. So I don't know if there was a bit of sexual action between Billy Joe Saunders and Michelle Hall Phelps. I don't know. She might have just turned up there to interview him because he's like entertaining, isn't he, Billy Joe Saunders? He's quite entertaining. You know what I mean? Like, he's training with Mark Tibbs, and so is Daniel Dubois. I don't know if that's definite, but I heard that Daniel Dubois is training with Mark Tibbs. What do you think of that? I don't think Billy Joe Saunders and Daniel Dubois will become good mates, you know. I don't think they'll get on that well. I don't think they kind of seem opposite, don't they? I can't imagine Daniel Dubois and Billy Joe Saunders, you know, driving around in a car together, you know, looking for prostitutes and giving them £100, you know, to slap an innocent man. I can't imagine Daniel Dubois enjoying that kind of thing. He seems a bit robotic, don't he? He seems a bit... You don't seem like he'd really enjoy driving around in a car with Billy Joe Saunders, you know, and going up to prostitutes and giving them £100 to slap an innocent man. I don't know, I don't think he'd enjoy it, so I can't really see those two, like, getting on. Will, Shannon Courtney versus Gerald McLennan, who wins? It's got to be a draw, hasn't it? It's got to be a draw, man. She's done nothing. I think even though Gerald McLennan is blind as fuck, I think if he just swings a punch, he'll land a punch on her fucking chin and just fuck her up. Because she hasn't done anything. Like, who has she beaten? You know, to have a blue tick and have a fucking promotional deal with Eddie Earn, the top promoter in boxing, and have Coogan interviewing her every minute and liking all of her pictures. Like, what has she done in boxing to deserve all of that? She hasn't done anything, has she? So she's a clown, isn't she? I think Gerald McLennan beats her, even though he's blind as fuck. Dave Allen's sister is fit. You know what she is, you know? Dave Allen put a photo of him and his sister the other day on his Instagram. She looked quite nice. She looked alright, you know. I wish my sister was attractive. My sister is fucking ugly. She's ugly as fuck. So, it's a bit disappointing. I want a nice, attractive sister. You know, for sexual reasons. Daniel Kinahan's situation. I don't know, we watched that documentary, didn't we, about fucking Daniel Kinahan and MTK Global, but I don't know, it was stuff we've already heard before. It wasn't anything new, was it? It's nothing new. He hasn't been arrested. Well, I think he's been arrested, but he hasn't got any convictions. He hasn't been locked up, so it's like, it's just speculation, and it's just rumours, you know, like Adam Smith locks kids in basements. You know, if Daniel Kinahan hasn't been locked up, I don't know, it's just speculation, innit? That documentary, it's all biased, innit? Like, Barry McGuigan robs his fighters. He tries to shortchange his fighters, so they all take him to court and sue him. So him going on that documentary saying Daniel Kinahan has taken all of his fighters, you know, he's bound to say that, innit? You know, he's just bitter. Daniel Kinahan is taking his fighters because Barry McGuigan is shortchanging them. So that documentary was quite biased, but so is IFL TV. Coogan's channel, they're biased as well because they keep interviewing like people who are associated with Daniel Kinahan and MTK, like Spencer Fearon, you know, the knowledge. He's the head of the MTK Global Foundation, so he's probably getting a little fancy payday, you know, from MTK Global, so of course he's not going to slag him off. So IFL are interviewing him, you know, and asking his opinion about Daniel Kinahan. But he's obviously going to say nice things, isn't he? It's just common sense, isn't it? And they're interviewing fucking Ben Davison and asking him about Daniel Kinahan. But he's like, associated with him as well. I'm not saying Daniel Kinahan is a fucking criminal, you know, like the Sun newspapers making out. I don't know the guy, I haven't looked into him. But I'm just saying, like, people are being biased, aren't they? Barry McGuigan's being biased, slagging Daniel Kinahan off because he's taking his fighters that Barry McGuigan's shortchanging. Fucking Kogan is being biased, interviewing people who are associated with Daniel Kinahan, who obviously aren't going to slag him off, like Spencer Fear and the Knowledge. He's getting a payday from him. So, like, interview someone who's, like, in the middle, you know, who's neutral, who hasn't got anything to gain or anything to lose from fucking speaking the truth. You know, it's all biased in it, so I can't really take any of this. I can't really take any of it in. John Jones versus Israel Adesanya. Wow. Wow, that's what I mean. That's fucking really interesting, isn't it? I love UFC, you know. I really like. I don't watch all the fights, but I watch the main fights. You know, Khabib, John Bones Jones, Israel Adesanya. You know, even Conor McGregor. But you know, when you watch a Khabib fight, it makes you realise how much of a fucking pussy you actually are, don't it? You know, when you watch Khabib, it makes you realise how much of a bitch you are. Like, not a bitch, because, like, if you fight, if you've got the heart to fight, but you can't really fight, you're not a bitch, are you? If you're willing to fight, but you can't fight. You know, like journeyman. Like, who's the biggest journeyman in boxing? Christian Late. That name came to my mind straight away. I think he's had like 2 wins and like 200 losses. Like, he's not a bitch, is he? Even though he's had 200 losses. So, like, just because you can't fight, it don't mean you're a bitch, but like, when you watch Khabib doing all that ground and pound shit, you realise how fucking vulnerable you are. You know, in the streets, against someone like him, who can just like go down, like grab your leg, take you down, just fucking ground and pound you. So, Mayweather's quite good in it at boxing, but it's not real fighting, is it? But you have to rate Mayweather. Yeah, what's going on? Give me some good questions. We'll do a little Q&A. Has Daniel Kinahan sent for you, Tyan? He hasn't. I don't know if he hasn't directly sent for me, but I've had a few phone calls, you know, like from a few people saying, oh, you need to stop talking about that, you know. You need to stop talking about him. You need to stop having a go at him. You need to stop fucking saying that he's a drug pusher. And I ain't really got any evidence. I ain't really looked into him. So he hasn't been arrested or he hasn't been convicted. So I'm just going to leave it, I think. And like I say, I'm not anti-drugs anyway. I bought some crack cocaine, didn't I? A few weeks ago, you know, for a woman who watches my videos. Some little crackhead woman who watches my videos. I bought some crack cocaine for £40. So I'm not really anti-drugs. You know, for me to slag off Daniel Kinahan and say, oh, he's a drug lord. And then a week later, I go and fucking buy some crack cocaine myself. It's a bit contradictory, innit? Oh, fucking hell, I just missed that. Ty, you know, you on MTK Global's payroll. I'm not, you know, but I'd love to be. I would fucking love to be. You know what I mean? Even if I don't get money off him and I just get some crack cocaine, I can just go out and give it to these women, you know, for sexual reasons. These fucking questions are too quick, man. I'm on my second bottle here, you know. Yeah, what's going on? What's the latest in boxing? What's going on? Don't matter. Ty and acting like he wasn't a journeyman. That's what I'm saying to you. This is what I'm saying. Are you fucking listening to these videos or what? You're not fucking listening to me, are you? That Zelfa Barrett against that Kiko Martinez. You know, a lot of people are saying that Kiko got robbed. Yeah? And that's on TV. That Zelfa Barrett is a fucking Eddie fighter. Is the home fighter. That Kiko Martinez is coming from a different country. And the judges robbed him, you know, even though the fight was on TV. So, you know, me boxing in little leisure centres with no cameras, no Sky Sports, no nothing. You know, you're bound to get robbed, aren't you, against the home fighter? So, you know, this fucking guy here, are you fucking actually listening to the video? Just fucking pay attention to what I'm saying to you. Pay attention. The Black Quitter boxed this guy called Vasquez. And Vasquez got robbed, you know, against the Black Quitter. And the Black Quitter was like shaking his head, you know, and the announcement got made. The Black Quitter was like saying, no, that's a robbery. So even though I don't like the Black Quitter, you know, you have to rate him, you know, for like admitting that he didn't deserve to win that fight against Vasquez. And that fight was on the TV, and that Vasquez, who's from a different country, who probably doesn't sell tickets, got robbed, even though it's on camera for people to see. So what do you think happens in these little leisure centres where there's no cameras? That's what I fucking just said to you early on. But you're not paying attention to me, are you? You're just writing your fucking bullshit on here about I'm a journeyman. I'm not a journeyman. Journeymen have like lost 2 fights. I mean, they've won like 2 fights and they've lost like 200 fights. You know, I've won more fights than I've lost, but whatever. Would you get him back into boxing now you've gained a big following? I don't know, it's tempting, isn't it? Like Dave Allen, you know, he's got about 5 houses in Doncaster. I went to his house and I interviewed him, you know, in his little shed. He didn't let me in his house, you know, he probably thought I was going to steal something. So we had to like do the interview, you know, in his little shed. But he's got a few houses, hasn't he, Dave Allen? And he hasn't even won an area title. So boxing's a bit of a pantomime now, isn't it? You know, Prince Patel. He was trending money, you know, when he said that he's got a 9-inch penis. You know, he was getting a lot of hype. Frank Warren signed him up. So, I don't know, would I get back into boxing? It depends how much money I got paid. It depends how much I got. You know, when I boxed like my first fight, I got paid 600 quid. I get more from doing these little silly lives, you know, than fighting. So there's got to be like a big incentive. And I get money from my subscription page as well, Patreon. Shout out to the people who have subscribed to my Patreon, you know, and people who have bought my shit merch. I appreciate the support, so thanks for that. What did £40 worth of crack cocaine get you from those hookers? I didn't get anything. You mean sexually? I didn't get anything. They were giving me compliments all night about my videos. But that's not worth 40 quid. So when you ask me what did I get for my 40 quid, I assume you're talking about sex. I didn't fuck any of them. Do you know what I mean? Because like they knew about my videos, so I felt like, you know, if I did like go into the bedroom, you know, and have a threesome with them, I feel like one of them might have recorded it, you know, on their phone, you know, to try and like sell it to the Black Quitter or that fucking Coogan, because they would love to have like footage of me, you know, naked, you know, so they can try and like blackmail me, you know, and get me to stop talking about them. Because Coogan like messages me all the time, you know, after I've done a video, he messages me saying, oh, yeah, can you stop talking about me and all these women that I've fucked, because it's ruining my relationship at home. So he would love to have a video of me fucking two dirty crackhead whores. He would love to have that video, you know, so he can like blackmail me. So I didn't take the risk, you know, with these fucking women. You know, when they were in the car and like one of them recognized me. She said, oh, are you Ty FLTV? I said, nah, that's not me, nah. You know, I tried to deny it. But she knew it was me, she knew it. Shout out to Matthew Simmons. Shout out to Big Stans and Big Kez. Yes, stay safe, yeah? Yeah. Thanks for that, Matthew Simmons. Tyanbooth is a character created by Coogan Cassius reading a script. Yeah. You say that, but you know, if I was a character written by Coogan, he probably would have kept me on, wouldn't he? Because I don't want to sound like a cunt, but you know, these lives, they like generate hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So Coogan would want a cut of that, wouldn't he? So he'd probably keep me on, you know, if there's a bit of demand like this. You know, people are tuning in, he'd probably keep me on. But he got rid of me, you know, because I wrote a dodgy tweet. So he's not like a script writer, you know, giving me little scripts. I've got a little interesting story about Coogan, you know. Let me just give this shout out to this guy, Will. Shout out to Will for the £5. You're going to do any live events once lockdown's over, not boxing. What do you mean by that? Am I going to do any live events? What do you mean, like what? You know what I thought about doing? I thought about like hiring a big room, you know, like a big room, and just like selling tickets, you know, to the event and just getting on stage, you know, with a big bottle of Echo Falls and a big spliff. You know, and just like talking a load of shit, you know, doing a Q&A. I think Mayweather did that, you know, with Coogan. Coogan, like, was interviewing Mayweather at an event. I think it was an event put on by Ryan Rhodes, you know, in Sheffield. And Mayweather went there and Coogan was asking him a load of daft questions. So I think I'd do something like that once this lockdown fucks off. Time, what's your record in the streets? I'm still 5-0. Still 5-0. How many knockouts do you have on your record? You know what? I've got about It's a bit cringe. I've got about 2 knockouts. I knocked out this guy called Jason Wellborn. And this guy went on to become a British champion. And he went on to box for a world title. You know, he boxed in a world title fight, you know, on the undercard of Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. And I fucking knocked him out. So that's what I mean. I didn't really have hardly any knockouts. I was a bit of a boring fighter. I boxed on a Carl Froch undercard in Nottingham here. I sold about 30 tickets. And I boxed his journeyman, and I just like messed around with him, you know, just fucking. My trainer told me to like mess about with him, you know, not knock him out, because he had a fight like a week later, this journeyman. So my trainer like told me to like mess around with him, you know, not stop him. So I was like messing about with him, like hitting him and not really trying to fuck him up. So then I won on points, but you know, after the fight, like I got booed out of the arena. You know, in my hometown of Nottingham, I got fucking booed out of the arena because people want to see blood and guts. They want to see people getting knocked unconscious. So, you know, me fucking about with this journeyman, I should have smacked him up. I should have tried to kill him. I don't want to sound horrible, but that's what people want to see, don't they? So I should have tried to really smack him up. Because after that fight, you know, when I boxed again in Nottingham and I tried to sell tickets, I couldn't really sell tickets because people weren't interested in me just like jabbing and moving around. And you have to go for the kill, man. You have to block them up, you know, like Nassim Ahmed said. You have to smash them up. So yeah, Mr. Will Guitar, thanks for the £5. How's the training going? Keep fighting the good crusade against the cool gunner. Any fights you're looking forward to? Yeah, that's the usual, innit? Just the usual fight. Joshua Fury, that's the main one we want to see, innit? But I'm getting a bit bored of talking about it because it's just every video I watch on YouTube, it's like, yeah, Eddie, how are the negotiations going? How are the talks coming along for the Joshua Fury fight? How are the talks coming along? It's boring, isn't it? We just want to see the fight, man. I don't want to hear any fucking talking now. It's getting a bit boring, isn't it? Shout out to Matthew Wood. Phil Bailey. For the Black Critter, be safe. Right, let me read some of these questions. It's mad that you knocked out Jason Wellborn. He's a beast now. Yeah, he's doing well. British champ, world title challenger. He's doing well. I'd like to see how much he got paid for that world title fight, you know, on the Tyson Fury Deontay Wilder undercard. It's probably a decent payday, wasn't it? But I don't know how a lot of these boxers have survived, you know, like going nearly a year without fighting. Because a lot of boxers that I spoke to, they've been dropped by their sponsors. So they haven't really been getting paid. You said you had a story about Coogan. Yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah, you know Coogan, yeah. You know when me and him were like, oh, fuck you know. Someone just gave me 50 quid. Shout out to Marcus, 69. The teddy bear behind you has got the status of a plum. Be safe. Yeah, shout out to Marcus for the little 50 quid and that. Someone gave me 50 quid, you know, a couple of weeks ago, you know, to pour a bottle of piss over my head. Because I was like pissing in bottles. And he asked me to pour the piss over my head, and I fucking said, give me the £50 up front and I'll do it. And he gave it me and I didn't do it. So it's a bit snidey, isn't it? But yeah, shout out to Marquis69. The teddy bear behind you has got the status of a plum. Like James Helder. What's James Helder doing, man? He posted a photo on his Instagram today, you know, of him holding a big... He was like holding a big fish. What do you think of that? He's fishing, innit? I don't know, I just can't understand it. I'd like to interview him. I'd like him to sit here. You don't get rid of that fucking beer and just put James Helder here and say to him, like, why have you gone from interviewing like world champion boxers, traveling the world, getting paid, you know, fucking IFL, they've got all these sponsors on there, MTK Global, William Hill, that Sleepless Night, Det KO advert. That's fucked off now, but like they've had quite a lot of sponsors since. You know, Daniel Kinahan, he's giving Coogan a bit of cash, innit? He's sorting him out, innit, Daniel Kinahan. So like IFL are probably generating a bit of cash now. You know, when Coogan was in a shopping centre with Billy Joe Saunders, Coogan fucking said to Billy Joe Saunders, who picked up a pair of trainers, Coogan said, I can easily afford to buy them. My YouTube channel's worth £5 million. So he's cashing in, isn't he, Coogan? So, you know, for James Helder to leave IFL and go and set up a fucking football channel interviewing footballers from the 70s, it's a bit weird, isn't it? It still don't make sense. He might have thought, you know what, I don't really want to be associated with MTK Global, you know, because there's a few dodgy rumours going around, you know, that they're drug lords and fucking extortionists and they fucking kidnap people. But James Helder sang a song saying, put them in the back of the trunk. So James Helder likes kidnap, don't he? He fucking loves kidnap, man. Yeah, shall I wrap this up? How long's it been now? I might fuck this off, you know. You know what I might do? I thought about this before I went live. I might like go live for about half an hour, yeah, and then just end it. And I'll have a little break. Go for a proper piss in the toilet instead of pissing in bottles. Go for a proper piss, wash my hands, chill out for a few minutes and then go live again. You know, so I've got another video to put up on my channel. You know, instead of just like one long video for like 2 hours. I think I might wrap it up, you know. I had a little interesting story about Coogan as well. Let me just give this little shout out to Zishan137. Thanks for the £5. That guy gave you 50 Swedish krona, which is about a fiver. Oh, did he? He tried to fucking be all snidey, didn't he? You know, trying to make out like it was fucking 50 quid. You know, so I give him a shout out. And it's the equivalent of a fucking fiver. What a snidey fucker that is. That's a Coogan move, innit? That's a fucking Coogan move. You know, pretending to give me 50 quid and he gave me a fucking fiver. But I've made a few hundred quid, so it's all good, man. You know what I mean? I sold a lot of merch. I've sold a few £1,000 worth of tacky merch. I'm on Patreon. Shout out to the people who subscribe to my Patreon, you know. Thanks for that. Shout out to Joe B for the £5. Smelly arse. I don't know what that means, man. I don't know why people keep messaging me that. Reveal the Coogan Hotel story. Alright, it's not really a... Alright, let me tell you the story. Yeah. You know, when me and Coogan were like that, we were kind of... There was a bit of tension, but we were okay. We were kind of like talking on the phone. You know, Coogan, me and him were talking on the phone, yeah. And he said to me, give me your address. And you know when you're doing a video, yeah, me and Umar, IFL Umar, will like come into the video, you know, halfway through. And it'll be quite a nice little surprise, you know, for your viewers. So Coogan asked me to like send him my address. But I don't know if he was just trying to set me up. You know, trying to like find out where I live. You know, so he can send some of those MTK Global drug pushers round to my house, you know, to fuck me up. You know what I mean? He thinks I'm fucking dumb, don't he? He was like asking me for my address. You know, so he can try and get me fucked up. Yeah, fuck you know. Shall I wrap this up? What do you think of this live? It's been a bit shit on it. That wasn't really an interesting story, was it, about Coogan trying to get my address to try and fuck me up. Right. Still pissed off with that guy, you know, giving me a fucking fiver, you know, pretending it was like £50. That's a fucking snidey move, innit? But so is me, like, saying to the guy, a guy messaged me saying, pour that bottle of piss over your head and I'll give you £50. So I said, all right, give me the £50 up front. And he gave it me. And then I said, you know what, I can't really do it, you know. I can't really lose my dignity, you know, pouring piss over my head like that. I missed some super chats. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this off, you know. These lives are a bit shit, aren't they? What do you think of these lives? They're a bit dead, aren't they? Let me just have a quick piss in the bottle, yeah? Just ask me a good question while I'm pissing here. Can you hear that? Come on, man. Hurry the fuck up. I have to just piss myself. Right. Right. A few more questions and then I'm going to wrap it up. It's been a bit dead on it. What do you think of Heavy D's death? He was dissing me one day on YouTube, you know, the Black Quitter. He was like dissing me, you know, like trying to slag me off. But that's what he was about one day, like hype. You know, going on Big Brother. You know, these little silly programs. He was trying to put it on Coogan, you know, because he wanted to get that hype, didn't he, on YouTube and that. And then he put it on me. Coogan didn't want to fight him. Coogan kind of pussed it out. So, you know, he was trying to like put it on me as well, wasn't he? Like trying to get me to talk about him. But I didn't bother. I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time for all that Big Brother shit. It's not for me, man. I'm not really into all that fake hype. You know, Prince Patel saying he's got a 9-inch penis. It was a bit cringe, wasn't it? Those two did a little podcast together, you know, fucking Prince Patel and Heavy D, and it was just cringe, man. I don't like slagging off the dead, but I don't know, that Heavy D wasn't really for me, to be honest with you. But that don't mean I wish he was. That don't mean I'm glad he was dead. You know, he was kind of young, wasn't he? He was like 42. So it's a bit too young to die, innit? Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this off, you know. I'm gonna fuck this off. I'm gonna do a proper video in a couple of days. I'll probably do a little review of. Look at this guy here, this Marquis guy. The guy sent me like £69 here. SEK. What does that mean? What kind of money is that in English money? Because the last time you fooled me, you know, giving me like 50 quid, and I give you a little mention. What's he sending me here? This guy, this Marquis guy. SEK, £69. Well, how much is that in like fucking UK pounds? Yeah, this, you know, when I'm seeing these comments, it's not like in real time. I need to speed up my internet, man, because it's like there's about a 30-second delay. So when I'm talking about stuff now, people like comment about it in fucking 30 seconds. Why does somebody keep commenting saying Kid Galahad? Like, what about him? Like, you know how many times I've seen that message saying Kid Galahad? Like, what about him? Like, say something about him. Like, why do you keep saying Kid Galahad? What about him? You know, if you want me to talk about Kid Galahad, say it. You know what I mean? Ask a question about him. But you just keep saying Kid Galahad. It's like that guy the other week. You know, when he kept commenting saying smelly arseholes. That's probably the same guy, innit? Just fucking makes sense, man. Fucking makes sense. Why do you keep commenting saying Kid Galahad? Yeah, he's done it again, hasn't he? Yeah, I'm gonna fuck this off, you know. I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching, yeah? Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna do a proper video in a couple of days. I'm gonna do like a review of the fights on the weekend. The Eddie Earn show. But yeah, thanks for watching again. Yeah, that'll do. Thanks for that.